What's up, YouTube? Cam's back with another video. So, as y'all know, the 400EX build is what we were going to start on. A bunch of the parts that I wanted to order are on back order, and I guess being able to ship things overseas and all this with the tariff situation and blah 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 has made parts really hard to get right now, especially things like stroker cranks and stuff like that that have to come from overseas, and they come from China and Japan and all these other good stuff. So the 400EX is going to have to wait, but I'm not going to wait. So we are slowly, steadily getting the 2012 KX450 back together. I was able to get one of the parts. So here it is. This is the oil drive gear. Now, if I stand this part of the engine up, it goes on that other side, which you will see later on in this video. The one that was broken is right here. There's the oil drive pump gear. That's the one that got broken. That was what was wrong with the bike, as far as I know. And then there was a couple other things, like parts that were floating around in the bottom and everything. And like I said, when we got this bike, we didn't buy it for much, so I already assumed that something was wrong. But besides all that, we did, I don't want this to look like a piece of a worm. That is a piece of a bolt that we just extracted from that hole. So that's where it broke off, and that's where I grabbed it. I can't get it to really focus, but that's where I got it grabbed with the bolt extracting things that I have. So we were able to get it out. So now we've got our crank in, and it's ready to go. It spins and everything. It's just on a piece of wood. The way I have it balanced, you can see it down there. So it's going to have a tough time spinning. But our transmission spins, everything is good. We got our shifter drum in. We got our two shifter forks right there. You can see them both. And then the one shifter fork for the front of the transmission right there. So we got our main oil pump that pumps oil, and that's all cleaned out. I took it over to the water, cleaned it out really good, gave it compressed air, so we're good to go on that. So now we are in the midst of getting the cases mounted together. Have this part of the case right here. That's the clutch cover, and then that is our next part of the case. So I got to get this one cleaned up really quick, and then we're going to be putting our gasket maker on it. I ran out of gray yesterday doing a KX85 build, so we're going to have to use this Optimum red. I don't like using red between the cases because it shows, but you know, we got to do what we got to do right now, because I don't feel like going to the store and getting an $8 tube just for this. So we're going to just go ahead and slap this together with red. They do about the same thing. They're different, like heat levels and stuff like that. So the red should be good enough. We're going to slap this together, get that case on, and then I'm going to get right back to you. So hold tight, stay with me. All right, and now as you can see, we have our case cleaned up. Took a Dremel over this. Got it all cleaned up. And as you know, the insides of these cases had a whole bunch of oil that was sitting, and a bunch of gray stuff looked like that. I got it the best that I could, sprayed it out with brake parts cleaner and stuff, and let this dry. And so now let's go ahead and make these two cases. All right. Got all of our gasket maker on there. I can't really show you the best because I only have one hand, but gasket maker's all the way around. We got our crankshaft pulled in the middle. We got our transmissions in and everything, shifter drums right there. So now we're gonna slightly tap and watch this thing go down, and be careful while we do it so we can make sure everything is going in where it needs to. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. If I can't, please forgive me, but I will show you what it looks like. can see, we're dropping down the mate on this side. There's our mating surface. Mated. We're collapsed on this side really good. We're going to give that about 5 minutes to tack up. Since it took us about 5 minutes to get it up here, I like to give it about 10 minutes to sit and tack up really good. And then once it gets through expanding for about 5 or 10 minutes, I will go ahead and put our bolts in hand tight, let it sit another minute or two, and then I'll start torquing them down to spec. The reason I like to let it sit like that is because it just does a whole lot better for me. And all the years that I've ever built dirt bikes and done this type of stuff, if you let it sit, it gets tacky and it kind of holds better and expands out a little bit more and catches all the little grooves that may or may not have got coated very well with gasket maker. So that's that. I'll get back to you when I start putting the bolts in. All right, we got our cases mated. This is the other side, showing that there's gasket maker coming out the bottom everywhere, all the way around, all the way up there. We dropped our bolts in. We got one here, we got one here, and then we on down the line you can see the bolts that we put in there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, and then one down here. Now I know that because I made my schematic, and also where I'm working I have my schematics hung up. Like for the TRX 400EX, I have the motor right here, everything to build it with, and then I have my schematics hanging up right here. So it's super easy to keep it like that, keep it nice and neat, and you'll never have to worry, or never have to wonder. Now, we did have this shifting position sensor, I believe it is what it's called. It goes right here. I do have the bolts for it right here, but it was broken. This black part, the black cord, was, it looks like the motor either laid on it for a while or something, and it broke it. So I went ahead and clipped it. We're going to put some electrical connectors on it. Here's one side right here, the two wires, green and red and black, and then here's the other side, green and red and black. And like I said, this is the, I guess, shifting position sensor, and there's the clip that goes to the wiring harness. So I'm gonna throw some connectors on that. I've already got these things hand tightened down. I'm gonna jump into my service manual right here, look up the bolt spec. To me, case bolts should be anywhere between 7 foot-pounds to 11 foot-pounds. But I'm going to double check that because I want to be right when I'm doing this. Up to this far, we've done good and, went by the book. So I'm just going to go by the book for the whole thing. That way we can build it correctly. And I'll let you guys know what the torque spec is on these. And then I'll let you guys see this shifting position sensor when I am done. All right. Alright, so now we have our throttle position sensor, and that is in. So we do have a little bit of electrical tape hanging right here, but we will fix that with a lighter later on. We got our plugs back in there. We got their little clip that goes on the bottom down here. Just straighten it out. These things get old and break, just like now this little plastic sheath is breaking up off the side, so we'll just kind of keep it like that. And out of the way, we got the throttle position or shifting position sensor is screwed in there and it's tight, so we're not moving. So now we take our handy dandy book right here, and we're gonna open it up to torque specs. So in this book, if you buy this service manual, it comes with all of this. You're getting ready to see torque specs right there. We're looking at page 19, it looks like. So I'll let you guys look at this real quick. So yeah, it's a really nice book. It's great to have if you do things that I do, like you know, rebuilding stuff and all that. So yeah, here we go. Torque specs. So we're looking for case bolts. Not sure if that's what it's gonna be called, but I will give y'all the whole page so you can see. So, and then you go on to this. So what we're looking for, and I'll show you here in a second, are these. So we got crankcase bolts, M6, M7, and as I was saying, you're looking at 11 foot-pounds of torque on most of them, and that's what we're going to do for all of them, 11 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and get these torqued down, and I'll get back to you. All right, so we've got everything torqued to spec. Transmission spinning freely, crankshaft, y'all can hear it spinning freely. We've got everything right. We got our shifting position sensor, and I think we're gonna stop at this point. I got a couple more things I got to do today, and I can't devote all my time to this. I wish I could, but this is a good stopping spot. So the next thing we will do is go ahead and get our oil pump inside of here again, and then put our bolts, the remaining bolts right here inside for our oil pump. Get that all together and get our flywheel back on and our cam chain and all that, and then we will go to the other side and get our oil pump drive gear right there installed back into it, and get the rest of the parts that we need over there on, and then we'll start getting everything fastened up so we can get our top end in. We should have everything that we need for this. I even went ahead and got new brakes and oil filter, new oil filter replacement. I got the kick shaft, the brake lever, everything. So yeah, we're gonna get all this done, make sure that the motor runs, and then we will start getting everything like the forks situated and all that, because I know the forks and the rear shock has to be rebuilt, and we'll get all that good stuff going. And where's the new air filter for it? So once we get all that done though, and we put the motor back on the bike, get the top end built, we'll make sure it runs. And I'll have this all in another video for you guys, but I just wanted y'all to come along with me today and see the progress that we've got on the 2012 KX450F. You see it right there, KX450. And this was a video basically of getting the transmission put back in, because I know I spent a little bit of time in this manual right here in the transmission. I think it's like 280 something, trying to get this transmission back together. This is the oil pumps and stuff, so that's, I had to watch that, look at that. And then the transmission is not far behind it, but I spent a lot of time trying to get all that figured out today, and then I got the transmission all put back together, and then the main oil pump inside of it I got all that put in. So I figured we would go ahead and make a video on the transmission going in, the crankcases going back together, and all that good stuff. So you guys can go ahead and see how that goes together, and then you can also get ready to watch the videos on the bike running. This is the first 450 that I've owned. I did have a YZ 450, but I didn't own it. It was only I borrowed it from a guy and rode it around for a little while. So this one I actually own, and this one's going to be fun. I've never really done a full rebuild on a 450. I've built a couple of top ends for some people and stuff like that. So yeah, this is going to be really nice, really fun. Trying to go all out in this one, and I can't wait to see it just as bad as you guys. So y'all hang in there with me and catch me in another one. Peace.